It's quite late on Sunday night, the 5th of November. I am either part way through this vlog or I'm doing an introduction again. We'll see what the footage that I've accumulated over the last week or so is like. So yeah, if I'm starting again, then hi, I'm Gemma, I'm coming to you from Devon, and lots of Devon life and family life has been creeping into my podcast lately. It's been creeping out and I've been showing it off quite happily. But I know not everyone likes the personal content within the creative podcast, and because there was so much that I've got to show you, I thought I'd do a dedicated kind of Devon Diaries vlog for November, get myself back into the swing of things, ready for Vlogmas as well. That's better. It's an absolutely beautiful evening, so I've parked at the marina and I'm just coming down to that crafty stitch. I probably won't do any vlogging inside because I haven't talked to them about it yet, but yeah, it's every fortnight, it's free, it's nice, friendly. Yeah, so I just can't quite believe I get to live here. That's the marina. Isn't it lovely? I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm like 90% sure that this is where the jigsaw puzzle I've got is taken from. 90% sure. Yeah, I'll have to, I'll find a picture of it. But it's an absolutely glorious evening. Yeah, so off we go to sit and stitch. Steering wheel chat. Got some yarn on order from Sam, who runs that crafty stitch. Not going that long, a few years, I think 3 years, all aimed at beginners, all her kits and things. Yeah, it's quite funny in a way because she's kind of, let's get some light on, haha. She's kind of opposite to me. I'm all blues and she's definitely pink. But yeah, so I didn't do any vlogging inside because I'm a little bit shy. I haven't asked her yet. I haven't really shared that I've obviously got the channel and whatnot. But I'm gonna have to talk to her about it because obviously Vlogmas, and I would love to show you. I'd love to show you her studio because it's really lovely. A girl can dream. Hey, I will get my studio sorted out at some point. Anyway, time to go home. Hello, are we up for a little bit of steering wheel chat? I'm headed now to Wool on the X to meet with Ella and Debbie. And I've also got some yarn shopping to do, so I thought I'd vlog it and take you along for the trip. So we're going to go in now and head into Wool on the X, do a bit of yarn squishing, a bit of knitting, a bit of chatting, and yeah, I thought I'd bring you along for a proper look around this lovely community interest local yarn shop. This was my first proper visit to Wool on the X, so I really enjoyed getting time to have a proper look around. The displays are beautiful, it is absolutely packed with yarns. I was excited to see Starcraft Recreate, which is a recycled yarn. I've heard really lovely things about it and I really do want to work with it. I'm seeing perhaps a nice long line cardi in this, or a comfy v-neck sweater. It's only £3.99 a ball, which is really reasonable and has a really lovely palette as well. There's so much choice here. There's different types of yarn, from alpaca to cotton to acrylic. And you can see here the Marinade of Uruguay, some Zauber balls. It looks like hand spun there. I think it was actually hand spun as well. Some beautiful tweedy yarns, Stylecraft Rico. And here was the display of hand-dyed yarn, Bird Street yarn, which I was lucky enough to win a giveaway. I was very tempted to bring some of these home to add to my yarn stash, but more on the stash situation later. Skiing Queen, I absolutely love. I've got one very coveted special one in my stash at the moment. As you can see, I'm becoming drawn to the greens and the plums, the kind of autumnal tones. Loch Lomond lace. This is the lace weight version of the DK that I got for my chicken in the kit that Ella gave me. And I'm not sure how I didn't know about this, but Wool on the X actually dyes their own yarn. Debbie dyes yarn. It's beautiful base. This has tencel in it. I use a 50/50 tencel base, it's the same base as I have, and I love the variegation on these yarns. Eden Cottage yarn fans will be delighted by this display of various yarns, including the Melbourne 4-ply, the Melbourne DK, there we are, beautiful colours. These hanks of alpaca wool were really gorgeous. Oops, forgive me. Surrey alpaca worsted spun hand knit yarn. So Surrey alpaca is the softest alpaca in the world. It's also the rarest, and it's absolutely beautiful. Of course, what yarn shop would be complete without the wonder that is West Yorkshire Spinners. I did shop from the Bo Peep range. Kremke was another new one to me. This is it's called Soul Wool. It's a vegan yarn, and all the colourways and names are inspired by, I think, yoga poses. Sock yarn. Oh, I had to work really hard to stay away from this. I really did like the opal, some of the sparkly ones. This one in particular nearly came home with me. I was trying to think of other people I could gift it to justify adding it to my stash. But I was good. Look how sparkly that is. The project bags were absolutely beautiful. Obviously you've got some commercial ones such as Emma Ball, and I think there's some handmade ones as well. I was really intrigued to see tops and felt, a whole range, more of the hand-dyed yarn from Wool on the Axe. Utterly beautiful. A lace weight version of the merino tencel. Cat and Sparrow fibres. This nearly got me purchasing a drop. Oh, step away from it, Gemma. Step away. Put it back. Put it back. Good girl. And ready knit socks. I was always asked for these when I was running a yarn shop, and we couldn't get hold of them easily enough. They sold out like hotcakes. It's really cool to see these ones from Woolly Knit. As you can see, it is floor to ceiling, wall to wall, delicious yarn. A wonderful range of affordable commercial yarns, peppered in with hand dyed and BC yarn. Oh, I really wanted to bring some of this home. Organic wool and silk. It is the most unique thing I have felt. The jewel spun had really beautiful colours, and what I was really impressed with is they actually had swatches of every single one knit up. I don't know whether that was something that was given to them by Cider, or whether they've got a machine that they managed to do it on, but you can see them hanging here. Actually, looking at it has been given to them by Cider, hasn't it, if you look at the hanger at the top, and probably knit on a machine as well. But it is really cool to see how the colourways work up. Toft pom-poms, t-shirt yarn, toft kits. Honestly, there's anything you could think of in here. Elements from West Yorkshire Spinners, Sandra Rhodes yarns. I do love the elements. I'd love to work in that again. West Yorkshire Spinners fleece, BFL, both the dyed and undyed. I'm zooming in a lot here because I'm looking at Exmoor Horn wool, which is a local yarn. It's a Devon yarn. Now this is very rustic, but if you want a souvenir ball of yarn, this is your one. There we go. Members of the Exmoor Horn Sheep Breeders Society. Definitely one to think about. And coming round, we've got more hand-dyed yarn. This is all seems to be organised by weight. So this is the Aran weight. West Yorkshire Spinners, DK. And more yarns that were new to me. Oh, and Jameson and Smith floor ply. Say hiya.
The dummy.
You want your dummy? Someone has just woken up. He was adamant that he doesn't need a nap because you're a big boy, aren't you? How old are you going to be on Monday? How old are you going to be? 1, 2. Give me the silent treatment. Hello. I was going to record a chatty bit while the little one napped, but the little one decided he didn't need a nap. Today, he doesn't need a nap, thank you very much. So we brought him back downstairs and he snuggled up on the sofa with Daddy, didn't you, to watch Thomas. And then Daddy realised that he was the only one watching Thomas because this little sausage had fallen asleep. So we lay him down on the sofa and he's had a really nice nap, which means that I haven't been able to record the chatty bit, so maybe I'll do that tonight. And also I wasn't able to go to the post office or do any of the things I was planning on doing because we laid him on the sofa and we've got a hard floor in this house. I mean, obviously it's not ideal to fall off a sofa anyway, but we just didn't feel comfortable leaving him. So I've been forced to sit and knit for the last hour and a half. Ooh. Anyway, we're going to get on with our evening. Husband's just run to the post office for me, so there's a little break in the storm. We've been quite lucky here actually with the storm Kieran. It was very windy last night. It was quite scary. And there's actually a chimney breast behind here. There would have been an open fire. It's all blocked up, but you could hear the wind howling down it.
It's dummy.
It's your dummy. Thank you. What's this on your wrists? What have you got on your wrists? No bracelets. He's taken the sellotape, one on each hand. What's this? On your head. On your head. So, oh, 2 on your head. So I'll catch up with you a bit later. But I think we're gonna have a hug, aren't we? No? Oh, you're getting down. He's gone. He's gone. We're going to have some tea. It's Robin's favourite marinated chicken tonight. You'll have seen me make the marinade earlier, and I'll put the recipe on screen and down below, or I will have put the recipe on screen and I'll link to it down below. It's a free recipe from someone's blog, which I really like. I'm going to have that with rice, and then, yeah, I'll catch up with you a bit later. Happy making. What are you wearing, Robin? What's on your head?
Daddy.
Daddy's hat? Do you like wearing Daddy's hats? I'm making Mommy's birthday cake this afternoon. My boss is helping me. She's like an amazing baker. So we're going to do that later. And then, yeah, we've got finishing housework tonight. Tomorrow is work again, and then food prep. So I'll be sharing some of my batch recipes with you if you're interested. And then Sunday it's birthday time. We got rid of the high chair this morning. I was not ready to get rid of the high chair. Well, I was, and he is. But it's another thing that marks the transition from his babyhood to his childhood. And it's a little bit emotional. Right, excuse the bare toes, but I just had to show you my hand knit socks that I'm wearing today to work. I need to go and find its partner. This one just came out the hand washing yesterday. I think the other one got hand washed last week. Or last time I did hand wash. I need to go and find that. There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of the ship was the... The winds picked up and the bow dipped down. Blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tongue is done, we'll take our leave and go. What's that? Two? It's a two? It is a Thomas. Do you know what else it is, Robin? Choo-choo train. Is it a 3 or is it a...
2.
There we go. It's a 2. It's a 2. Who's 2? Are you 2? You 2 tomorrow. Who's on your tummy?
Thomas.
It is Thomas.
James.
Yeah, there's James too. Do you want to get on?
Oh, Thomas.
You can get on, Thomas. Yeah.
Thomas. Oh, Thomas. Thomas.
Come here, look. It might be a little bit big for you still. I did think it might be. You ready? Hold on. I've got you. Sit up. Hold on. Hold on to the handles.
Angles.
Handles. Right, these are the handles. So if we put Thomas down just for a second, hold on to that. There we go. Thomas is here too.
Oh.
And then hold on to both handles. That's it. Oh no, we'll get Thomas. There you go, look. Oh, your toes don't reach the ground. You're too little still. You want to get off? Hey. Sunday the 5th of November. It's 10 o'clock in the evening. And we are finally sitting down after a really lovely but really long day. If you've been here for a while, then you'll know that if my eyes get shinier and shinier and there are lots of weird jump cuts, basically I'm spending every third sentence yawning. So if you're new here, that's what's going on. I'm not just very emotional and liable to burst into tears, don't worry. So it's been a lovely long day. Robin actually woke up at about 6:45, which really isn't too bad. Parents of toddlers, I'm sure, will understand this, that they tend to get up with no regard for what is considered a decent hour by the adults in their lives. But we'd actually been up till 1 a.m. sorting things out for his birthday, getting the house finished. I was doing lots of cooking because I didn't want to spend his birthday party in the kitchen. I wanted to be spending time with the family, watching Robin open his presents and making those really special memories. And we achieved that. It was a bit of a rush, and so I was working quite late last night. That's not accurate. I was working, and then I did stay a little later than my shift, but after work my boss was helping me decorate Robin's birthday cake, which I shall put some pictures in of the decorating process. I'm really lucky that I work at a place called Seven Dials in Cockington Court. It's a historic village. It's beautiful, and I found out yesterday it's called the Seven Dials because Agatha Christie wrote the Seven Dials, and it was there, and there was 2 books that Agatha Christie wrote at the court, which is just amazing because the tea room itself is in what was the library and the drawing room, and I'm like, I'm working in the place that Agatha Christie wrote these books. She sat possibly right by that fireplace that I've just swept. What? How cool is that? You might not know, but in my former life I was an English teacher. My degree was in English literature. I am a massive book fan. I've been reading for years. My dad actually taught me to read when I was about 2.5. He was off sick with glandular fever for a couple of months and so decided to teach me to read. And I'm not mad about it. Yeah, so, and I'm already sharing that love of books with Robin now myself, which is really nice. I stayed late. I baked the cakes during the day, and then we did a crumb coat. We opted to do butter icing, and then there was a mould that my mum had saved from when my brother was little, which was a relief of Thomas the Tank Engine coming out of a tunnel. And blowing steam, and in the steam cloud it said Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, and she'd asked me a while ago did I want it for Robin because Robin is Thomas the Tank Engine mad, and of course I said yes. So we did sugar paste first of all, and it didn't work brilliantly. It worked, but it wasn't awesome. And while I was hand painting the sugar paste with the special paints that you can use for cake decorating, she actually went and tempered some white chocolate and set the mould again with white chocolate, and that was brilliant. It worked really well. And then I was like, well, maybe we should just leave it plain. So no, okay, we'll give it a go. So then we painted the back and let's just see what happens. Let's see how it works. It doesn't work quite as well on chocolate as it does on the sugar paste, but it was good nonetheless. And actually the definition within the mould was so much clearer from the plastic mould than from the tempered chocolate than from the sugar paste. That's what we went with. So yeah, by the time we left, it was like 7 in the evening, got home, did bedtime with Robin. It's bonkers seeing him grow up. Like, he likes to hold your hand. We've got to the stage, he's got this really sweet little bedtime routine. So at bedtime we go upstairs. He likes saying upstairs, bedroom. And he, like, depending how tired he is, he'll climb most of the way up the stairs, or he'll do 2 stairs and then say up, want to be carried. Get him in his PJs, and he does a little bit of quiet play. We set his bedroom up sort of Montessori style, so he's got some quiet kind of traditional toys and different cubbies. And so depending what time we get upstairs, but generally speaking by about 7 o'clock we're like, okay, it's now story time. So he goes to clean his teeth, or as he's got teeth, as he's calling them teeps at the moment, which is really cute. And then we've obviously got our PJs on by this point. He picks some stories, we have some stories, and then either before or after, depending on the mood he's in, we say goodnight to his toys, and he actually puts his toys away and says night night to the toys. He puts them into the box, which is just really sweet. And then when we have the stories, as we finish each story, he says night night to whatever it is. So we read Bear Can't Sleep last night, and he goes night night Bear and kisses the book. It's just like, oh, you're so precious. And he puts the book away in his bookcase. I don't know how long that's going to last. Neither his daddy or me are particularly tidy, organised people. We kind of exist in a little bit of chaos. But we're trying to instill good habits in him from a young age so that they become second nature, and that he doesn't have the kind of struggle that we do. And it's not to say our parents weren't tidy themselves, but I certainly resisted any attempts to organise me. So yeah, it's not a comment on previous parenting. It's just like, we know we struggle with this, so we're going to try and really help you. It's really sweet. And then he says, lie down now. So he now turns his lamp off. It's got a twist function. It's like a dimmable lamp. So he turns his lamp off and asks to get into bed. He's still got the cot, the toddler cot. It will turn into a bed, and then he likes to hold your hand. And so it's this really nice routine. We're kind of into it, and I accept that I'm going to have to sit down and hold his hand through the bars for a little while. And I was thinking just the other night, how long is this going to go on for? When do we start to transition to a more independent, I mean, it's already more independent in the sense we don't have to rock him to sleep anymore, but tuck you in night night, creep out of the room situation. And I thought, I wonder if I'm making a rod for my own back here. But last night I was holding my hand, and then suddenly he kind of pushed my hand away and says, I turn around now. And he rolled over to face the other direction with his back to me. Big sigh, fell asleep. Like, oh, okay. So these things just seem to be happening naturally, which we're very grateful for. But there we are. So bedtime, and then I came downstairs and hubby was finishing sorting out the tidying, because we've not long moved into this place. We've been here for about 12 weeks, we think. 10, 12 weeks, something like that. Downstairs is box free. Upstairs, 2 rooms are box free, but one of those is the bathroom, so that's not that impressive. And the other room is Robin's, which is decorated, which you know about. So we're not doing too badly. But I wanted to, so I made the curry parsnip soup last night, which you've probably seen, and I'll link the recipe. I've kind of blended a few recipes to create my own, so I might actually just pop it down below or do a blog post or a Facebook, something. I'll figure something out, and I'll, you know. And jacketed the potatoes last night as well. Got them going, so that was good. And yeah, by the time we'd blown up balloons and I'd freaked out and realised I didn't have any bread for the soup, and now I had to do a mad dash to Asda's at 10, like almost 11 o'clock at night. By the time we'd done everything, it was 1 in the morning. And yeah, so it's, suffice to say, we were up late prepping for Robin's birthday today, cooking, tidying, up early-ish, and then still doing the last bits of cleaning. I made the chilli this morning, made an apple crumble, which has worked really nicely for our bonfire buffet. And then the party started and all the family arrived, and it was really, really lovely. And Robin was just, with every person that came through the door, he was like, oh, my favourite people are here. He was so thrilled. But yeah, my hands are pretty manky, and if you're not new to the channel, you know I dye yarn, so it's not really too odd that you would see my hands looking like this. So I've promised you a sit down vloggy bit of the chat to show about the crafting I've been doing. There hasn't been too much. Obviously I think the cake decorating counts, I think the baking counts as being creative, so hopefully that sort of different home life handmade content is interesting. But if you are a die-hard knitting and crochet person, here we go. There hasn't been too much, I'm in the middle of a round again, there hasn't been too much in the way of making time in the last few days because obviously of party prep and various things, and also I found myself being really tired and just falling asleep. And the other thing, the final thing that's I've noticed a difference is that I'm kind of coming out of knitting. On the one hand, I'm really loving my knitting time. I'm getting more of it now because I mentioned before Robin goes down pretty reliably in the evenings. We now have evenings again, which at one point we thought we're never ever going to get again. And by the time once you've finished tidying up and everything, sat down, you've got possibly 1 to 2 hours, depending how tired you are. Sorry, I just want to get this to the end of part of a round so I can show you. So I have got more making time, so there is more making, and I'm excited by more making, and I'm designing again. But I've also found myself really drawn to different things as well. Like, I want to read. I was thinking earlier about how I quite fancy curling up in front of Downton Abbey, and I've got these fantastic colouring books and I quite like to do some of that. So actually finding there's brain space now since the move in Devon for other things to come into my life. It's nice and I'm embracing it. I'm so proud of my apple crumble. Yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So although there's been making time, there's not been an awful lot of knitting, but anyway, here we are. So I've almost finished the gusset of my second Quinn's memory sock. I'll put all the details down below, but I think everyone knows what this is now. And it's in my hand dyed yarn in the colourway Nautical Twilight, and I'm enjoying it. This is going to be a pair of socks for me. So yeah, I'm doing the gusset. It's just standard construction. I do my sock needles. I use a couple of different methods, but my preferred is this one, this two circular needle method, which is great because it means when you're doing the heel flap, you've only got one needle to deal with. It's like a hybrid between the Magic Loop version where you use one long circular needle and the DPNs, which is, to me, wrestling a hedgehog. You just have the silence of the knitting is punctuated every so often by the clatter of a needle to the floor. The hedgehog always wins our battles. One day I shall reign victorious. You've seen my pumpkins if you've watched the last podcast, so I'm not going to show you those. Oh, I tell you what I am going to do before it gets cold. I'm going to have a nice drink of this. It's my new mug. It's November. I've brought out the Christmassy mug. It's a kind of rainbow shimmery pearlescent thing, glass mug with a very strange sort of deep bottom. That looked weird. I picked it up in Asda's and actually haven't seen them since, and it was the last one, so I feel very lucky. But this is mulled apple juice. I'm sure you've all heard of mulled wine, but I really enjoy doing mulled cider. It's very similar. I think you probably use the same spices, so it's allspice, cloves and cinnamon were the three I used. I know you can use a whole range of things, but I used cinnamon, allspice and cloves. I couldn't get allspice seeds, and I'd lost my little kind of cloth baggies that I do my mulling with, so I had to think on my feet, and I ended up using a filter coffee paper with a tea bag holder, a strainer thing that goes inside the teapot in my mother-in-law's slow cooker, and it worked fine. You didn't end up with any sort of allspice floating, like ground grainy bits in your mulled apple juice. So yeah, I do a mulled cider, but obviously it was a morning thing, it was a kiddies party, it was not going to be an alcohol party, so I did mulled apple juice. It went down really well, almost a whole slow cooker full went. Everyone enjoyed it. I think my brother-in-law had 4 glasses or something. But yeah, so there was actually a little bit left over, so I thought I'd have some now. And again, I'll pop the ingredients and the method down below for you as well, should you be interested. I thought we'd have a look at my whip board today as well, because something's happened to it. And there are some of you going, oh no, here we go again. And some of you are like, oh, the whip board. It's very, very Marmite-y, this. Speaking of, have you seen the new advert for Marmite on TV? It's really weird. It's really, really weird. I can't even begin to describe how strange it is. If you're bored and you've got 5 minutes later, go and have a look at it. I mean, it's 5 minutes you're never going to get back, but you'll see what I mean. I used my work in progress board to write my bonfire buffet menu for Robin's party. Again, that's totally fine. Only thing is, your girl used permanent marker. Oops. So hubby has suggested that we actually keep this for kind of the memories as his first sort of proper little party that we've done. We had a tea party for him in Kent, which was amazing, but this is his first Devon birthday party, and my handwriting is quite nice, so I think I might be losing the whip board, at least for now. I don't know whether I'm going to replace it or not, and there's something a bit liberating about it, because it's almost like now I can work on all the things. I have worked on some other things this week, but in the great tidying up, pre-birthday tidy, I actually can't find them. So I thought I'd just show you my acquisitions from Wool on the X, so that you can see what I'm going to be casting on shortly. Viewers of the podcast will know about this already, but I have purchased, I do feel a bit icky about this, a printed out photocopy of a vintage Thomas the Tank Engine pattern. I've mentioned already that my little boy is Thomas the Tank Engine mad. He stopped calling him Thomas and is calling him Thomas now, and he tells everyone Thomas and Engine, which is really cute. I think I got teased gently and nicely a few years ago for saying how excited I am too often in the podcast, and that if it had been a drinking game that everyone would have ended up completely sozzed, and I keep saying Robin's really cute. I've got a feeling it's going to be another one of those things. I'm going to try not to say it so much, but anyway, it has 4 trains on it, 4 train patterns. I really like this one, but I'm not an idiot. I have a little boy who's discovered welly boots and puddle jumping, so I am not doing it in white, but I'm going to do this train. So I'm going to do Thomas, this one's James. I'm not keen on the face on this one, it just looks a little bit peculiar, and that one's nice, but I think that's way beyond my skills. I'm fairly new to Intarsia, hoping to master it with this one. So I'm going to do this one, but in yellow. I had grand designs of making it using Fiberspace Vivacious DK in the Sunshine colourway for the background. It's a little bit of a splurge, but I would only have needed 2 hanks, and it's so soft. And once Robin had grown out of it, I could reuse the yarn. Basically, that's the idea. Unravel it and reuse the yarn. So I thought, well, that's okay, so that's how I justified that. Unfortunately, they only had 1 hank in stock. Debbie did very kindly say she could order it in and it would be here by the end of next week, but whether I do this or not remains to be seen. I know that if I'm going to get this done for him for Christmas, I have really got to get a wriggle on and I've got to get started. So anyway, I instead went for Blimey, that's bright. Went for Bo Peep in the Sunshine. This is also Sunshine colourway. It's from West Yorkshire Spinners, which if you've been here a while you'll know is one of my favourite commercial yarn brands. And I know it's back to front and you can't read that, but I need it on selfie mode tonight. I am too tired to do anything other than this. It's merino and nylon, so it's really, really soft but really durable, and it's machine washable. It's perfect. I think it's £4.25 a ball now, so it has gone up. I think it was only £3.50 a couple of years ago. It has gone up, but everything's gone up, and like I say, it's going to last. So I've got that for the main colour. I'm not sure between this one and this one for Thomas himself. He's actually kind of in between the two, I think, Thomas. Might end up going for this one just because of how bright it is. Yeah, we'll see. Fire engine, that's bright as well. Tooth fairy. Tin Man, so Tin Man's going to be his face. I also got Robot, which is a darker grey for his features. And then I needed a black and a brown. And I really wanted to get Treehouse from West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep range, but they didn't have that in stock. They only had Teddy Bear, which is far too pale. So in the end, I looked around the shop and I came up with Cider Country Classic. And this is like a chocolatey brown. And then obviously this is black. Oh, look, that looks much more brown now next to the black. And Cider Country Classic DK is from West Yorkshire. So there we go, Yorkshire yarn. It's 50% wool, 50% acrylic, so a very similar blend. And doesn't say anything much else about it. And it was £3.25 a ball. I've used Cider Country Style, but not the Country Classic before. So those are my colours for Thomas. And while I was there, because it's rude not to, the Future Dreams yarn. Maybe I will flip it for this. I don't know. I'll flip it afterwards. Which is a very exciting and special yarn. It's in the Colour Lab base, Colour Lab DK. It's self-striping, but it's done in collaboration with the Future Dreams charity, which supports women who are have suffered from breast cancer. In London, I believe there's respite care, or there's somewhere people can go, and so they've partnered with West Yorkshire Spinners, and Danielle Dean is this is basically her pet project, her baby. It's £6.95 a ball for 100 grams. It does go quite a long way, but inside the ball band is actually a pattern for a knitted rose and a crocheted rose, and they're doing this big project where you buy the yarn, some money from each sale of the yarn obviously goes to Future Dreams, but they're creating this virtual and physical installation where you can knit or crochet your rose, you can dedicate it to someone, perhaps someone you've lost with breast cancer, someone you know is fighting it, whoever. And you can either upload a photograph, so it's virtual and it's included in their virtual wall of flowers, or with the dedication, you can click on it and read the dedications, or you can send it off to be part of their physical installation. And I think there are other things like local yarn shops are doing their own physical installations but sending the photographs off to West Yorkshire Spinners. It's just a really, really exciting and fascinating and important campaign to raise awareness. So check your boobs, people, check your boobs. So that's it, really not too much making going on. As I say, this vlog is so much more about life in Devon now and how it is, and hopefully you're enjoying it. There's cookery, there's going to be some gardening, there's different crafts, there's life happening. I'm going to interesting places, like I went to Becky Falls and there was Apple Day at Cockington. And where did I vlog the other? Obviously Wool on the X. Yeah, there's all sorts of really wonderful things here that I'm excited to share with you all. So I thought maybe a vlog style for this month might help scratch that itch a little bit, and the podcast can go back to being more creative, at least for the time being. I'm probably going to do one podcast episode this month now, because then it is Vlogmas and I'm so excited. I've got Robin a new little apron for when he's baking with me. He's really into his dinosaurs at the moment and his favourite are Triceratops. and he can say teratops, and he's got triceratops slippers, which he calls his teratops pippers, which is so cute. There I go again. And he's trying to say triceratops. I think he said triceratop the other day, which is a little bit emotional, but I suppose they can't. It's learning and it's improving his language. That's the thing, isn't it? It's not a bad thing. I'm just trying to commit all these things, these little things that he does, to memory, so I don't forget any of it. And my cat's decided to wash his bum, just as I'm having a meaningful moment with you all. Nothing like a feline to bring you back to earth with a bump, is there? Yeah, so I am going to sign off for now. Tomorrow is Robin's actual birthday, so I'm going to get his presents from Mummy and Daddy out, because we didn't give him any today, obviously, and make sure everything's ready. And I'm going to kick back, maybe with some knitting, but actually I think I might go to bed and read. I really fancy that. Here's to a more balanced life. Cheers. Hello, welcome. We're at the end of my November vlog. This is my last sit down chat with you. I had originally thought it might be a week in the life, but there's been so much that actually last night as I was on my way to knit night, I realised it was then a fortnight since I first recorded any footage. So yeah, I thought I'd round it up now and finish it. I went into Asda's yesterday morning to pick up tights, I think. Nothing particularly glamorous, nothing you'd really care about, but apparently I decided to tell you I was buying tights. And as I walked in, they had a Christmas tree in sort of luminous Asda green, you know the colour I mean if you're in the UK. And it had a display board, almost like a hockey scoreboard type thing, you know, red lights. And it was proudly proclaiming that there were 47 sleeps till Christmas. I'm like, cheers, Asda. I don't need that stress. I was feeling okay. Now I'm not. So that panicked me slightly. And I realised, gosh, if it's 47 sleeps till Christmas, that means it's not very many sleeps at all till Vlogmas. And although I knew we're sort of headed towards the middle of November now, I'm recording this on November the 9th, it still hadn't quite sunk in. So I'm glad I've done this, and it's going to get me into the swing of organising vlog footage ready for Vlogmas, which I really hope you'll join me for this year. I'm very excited. So I thought I'd just have a sit down with you. Little Bear's gone up for his nap. He had the most wonderful birthday, I've probably said already, and I'm just faced behind the camera with Thomas the Tank Engine everything at the moment. So, but it's nice. It's nice. There was a time where I really didn't think my living room would ever be filled with toys in varying levels of causing podiatry distress to parents. We're not obviously at the Lego bricks yet, but you want to try and stand on some of these tracks, train tracks, they're a little bit painful. So yeah, it's a glorious November afternoon, 9th November. It's been sunny, blue skies, cold, crisp, autumnal. I've brought my pumpkin mug out for its last foray onto YouTube because I shall be swapping for my Christmas mug after this. Next time you see me, there probably won't be another podcast before the end of November. I mean, it really depends. It depends on so much how things go. But I doubt it, so don't perhaps look out for one. This might even take me a week to edit, so if this doesn't go up till November the 16th or 20th, then no, there probably won't be another podcast before Vlogmas. So this will be my last time to sort of chat to you until December. I can hear feet. They've retreated upstairs. Oh, bless him. That's my husband. He's come down the stairs, can hear me start to talk, and he's I'm going to back away. Can't shout upstairs because I'll wake the baby up, so we just best carry on, haven't we? Anyway, cheers. Hot chocolate, by the way, it's good. So I'll show you what I've finished, because I have had another finish during this vlog. So that's a couple, I think, and then I'll show you what I've been working on, and then we'll talk plans for the end of the year here at the Midnight Diary. Finished object. This is in the yarn dispensary bag that Veronique hacked for me as a gift with glittery gold fabric lining it. You've not seen this for a long time, not since, if you've been with me for a while, you'll have seen this in my moving diaries, my moving vlogs, but I haven't shown it since. So here we are. Here's my finished object. Ends not woven in, so I wasn't sure if they want to block it or not. But this is my finished, what's it called? Grain shawl by Tin Can Knits. It's one of the simple collection I've spoken about before with you. So it's ever so simple. It's ideal for learning shawl construction and doing your first shawl. So it's a garter tab cast on, and then you increase at 4 points each row to build out these triangles. There we are. And the yarn, there's some extra fluff. The yarn I've used is West Yorkshire Spinners Retreat in 3 colourways. Cannot remember the names of them, but there's the dark grey, the light grey and the cream. The cream is called Pure, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, and it's Blueface Kerry Hill. So it's not machine washable, but it's really lovely and soft to work with. It's a roving spun yarn, so it's not plied, which does make it a little bit fragile, but deliciously plump, and I really like it. And now this is finished, it's going off to its new home in the yarn dispensary. So yeah, that's that, and that's my big finish. It's really big and squishy. I don't think I'd make one of these for myself, not because there's anything not pleasant about it, just because although it was nice as a kind of mindless during the move project, I think I want to do new things now. And yeah, it's a lovely pattern. It's a free download from Tin Can Knits. You can get it via their website. And there's also Tin Can Knits app now where you can mark off, I believe, where you're up to on the pattern and things like that. So that is my finish. Then last night, as I was mentioning at the beginning, I went to Knit Night, hosted by That Crafty Stitch. I've talked about Sam before since I've moved to Devon. I was very brave very quickly, egged on by Emma of Pippin Yarns and some other lovely people who are messaging me going, have you found a knit group yet? Have you found somewhere to go and knit yet? So I was like, oh, okay, I best go put my big girl pants on. I have a keyring that says big girl pants on as well, from Brona. Pretty sure that's what it says, something to do with being a big grown-up girl anyway. So yeah, so I was brave and I went along to her free sessions that she runs, and I've been to my 4th session now, I think. Yeah, this is my 4th one, so 8 weeks I've been going, because it's every fortnight. Goodness, it feels a bit weird to think that I've been here for 8 weeks already, been in Devon for 8 weeks already, but there we are. And I took, again, I've got some yarn on order from Sam, a big chunky yarn to do a big chunky blanket, and I had hoped to get it done and released for this winter. Although winter seems to be lasting really long, certainly in this hemisphere. It's quite mild at the moment. Winter seems to kick in sort of middle to end of December and last until March or April. So there's possibly still time. But unfortunately, my shipment hasn't arrived yet. And Sam was like, oh my goodness, are you going to be okay? I was like, it's fine. I have definitely got something else to work on. Don't you worry. I am not lost for works in progress. I did say I've got at least 10. I think she thought I was exaggerating, but when I shared with her, not reminded because she's got no reason to know this, when I shared with her that at my worst point, I think I had 50 works in progress. Some of you might remember that. I think she stopped worrying. So last time I went to That Crafty Stitch, if you remember, I took the Bamba shawl by Maddie Harvey, which hadn't had that much love since the test knit finished. I picked out some elements in the pattern that just needed straightening out, which it often happens in the test knit, and then the test knit deadline passed and I just went and stopped working on it. So this has been going since 2019, but I picked this up and I was there, I believe. I think I was there. And so then from That Crafty Stitch, those 2 sessions, those 4 hours, I've done all of that. That's so much, isn't it? So I did that much last night in the 2 hours. It wasn't as much perhaps as I could have done, and my brain wasn't quite in it last night though. So that's my Bamba shawl. The Fibre Spates Vivacious 4-ply, I believe, is actually mixed magentas, I believe, or is it spiced plum? I'm going to have to look back. But it's this gorgeous, gorgeous kind of rhubarby purpley pink. It's blowing out quite a lot on my screen here. I'm not sure what the computer will do. It's actually a lot more purple than the kind of reddy pink that's coming up here. But then mind you, so is my jumper. My jumper's more of a deep wine colour and it's coming quite bright here. I'm holding it double with Isea Alpaca 1, which is a lace weight yarn, and the Silk Mohair, which again is a lace weight yarn. That's very pretty. Would I do one for myself one day? Quite possibly. It seems silly to have put all this work in, all these hours, and not to have, especially over this many years, and not to have the finished object. Acquisitions, I quite like looking in the charity shops. Retail therapy is something I've always enjoyed, and obviously with a big move and a change in life circumstances, there's a change in budget and you've got to adjust to that. But I've found a great deal of fun to be had in charity shop shopping. I found a brand new pair of running shoes, Reebok running shoes, brand new, tags still on, for like £20, which was brilliant. Bought it and they came running up after me and said, "Oh no, do you want your free gin?" Free gin? What? And they were giving away, with spends of over £20, their special 40th anniversary non-alcoholic gin. So I got a bottle of that as well. Thank you very much. Haven't tried it yet. Maybe I'll try that one winter's evening. It's all spiced and lovely and it does look really good. So I do quite well in the charity shops. I've found various Thomas things. I found a whole collection of 5 Thomas DVDs for my son when we were in there, and it was the day after his birthday or the day of his birthday, one of the two. Day after his birthday, and I thought I'm not going to not going to give them to him just now when he's had so many presents, but we'll hold on to that and we'll use that during the winter. And I just happened to look in a basket. It's like a Kallax unit, you know, the cubes, and they had the solid baskets in that you can't see through. And one of them just was written on top wool, and I was like, oh, and I pulled it open and had a look in, and sure enough there were some odd part balls of some indeterminate fibre, probably acrylic, nothing wrong with it, yeah, absolutely fine, you know I work with acrylic as well. But there was a little bag that caught my eye, marked £2, and in that bag, hand-dyed Christmas yarn with a coordinating hand-dyed semi-solid. What? For £2, what a bargain. It's obviously been started and then frogged and hand wound back up into a ball. So I've got some grammage there, and I've got some yarn that's been caked on a ball winder there. So I'm guessing it's merino line. It definitely feels more like merino than BFL. Probably nylon in there, and a coordinating mini skein. And so these are going to be Christmas socks for me. So that brings me to plans going forward for the Midnight Diary. So I am going to be setting up my dye space over the course of December. So yeah, so we've got new yarn coming, new patterns coming. Obviously I released my pumpkin a couple of weeks ago. Setting up the dye space. I've got a couple of exciting collaborations coming up with some designers coming up in 2024. One of them I believe you know about already, and that is Mina, the knitting expat. I have dyed a colourway specifically, and I'll offer a couple others as well on my Donegal base, which is merino and Donegal nets, and then there's a project that I'm going to be working on with another local designer to me in Devon, which is very exciting. We're going to start working on that in January, so I'll bring you some more about that then. In the meantime, it's time to think about Vlogmas. Yeah, I'm going to do it again this year. It suddenly occurred to me yesterday that it might be a little bit trickier, because last year I was in the very privileged position of running a yarn shop as well as a hand-dyed yarn company, and now I am not currently dyeing yarn and I no longer run a yarn shop, so the creative Christmassy content is going to be a little bit harder to come by, because I won't be doing a Christmas window and I won't be hosting a Christmas pop-up with elderflower stitches or a Love Local at Christmas with all these local artisans. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be a bit different, but I'm very excited for I still think I can do all 24 days. I'm very excited for my first Vlogmas in Devon. There seems to be a lot of life stuff creeping into these creative podcasts, and I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. So I'm thinking of doing the vlogs under the Devon Diaries list, because then that's more sort of home stuff, more lifestyle, or taking you around Devon, that sort of thing. It's more, you know what you're getting, whereas with the Tales from the Midnight Diary, I'll focus on the designing, the knitting, the crochet, the hand dyeing, and that's more discreet. And I think from what I've been hearing people say, and certainly their experience on other channels, is actually they quite like it being distinct and separate. So I'm toying with the idea of doing that. I'm curious to know what you'd think. This vlog is going to be quite long, and actually I am going to, after this has been up for a while, I am planning on actually taking snippets of it out and creating other mini episodes from it. So for example, my visit to Wool on the X will have its own standalone vlog as well, and same with some other bits that I've been doing. So that will happen and be released over time. Vlogmas this year, I'm planning to go to a couple of Christmas markets. There's one at Tor Abbey. I'm actually going to go ahead of time. I'm going to go ahead of December. I'm going to go on the last weekend of November because the alpacas will be there, and I think my little boy will really, really enjoy that. And then there's Tor Christmas markets, which are late night, and apparently they are quite the thing. So I'm going to go to 2 Christmas markets, that's planned. Also hoping to book a very special trip for Robin later in December as well. I'm not going to say too much about that now. So there's going to be, Vlogmas is going to be very similar. There's going to be crafting, we're going to put up the Christmas decks, we'll be baking. I will actually do my mince pies this year. Christmas Eve, we're having my 2 brothers-in-law and their other halves over for a pre-Christmas, because obviously we're all away with different members of family over the actual Christmas Day, Boxing Day. And I'm doing an anti-Christmas dinner because if I do a Christmas dinner for them on Christmas Eve, and then they've got to have it again on Christmas Day, and then Boxing Day, and then quite possibly the day after Boxing, everyone's going to be roast dinnered out. So I'm making tonight actually what's probably going to be our last roast dinner until Christmas. I'm not sure where I'm going with the anti-Christmas dinner, whether I go with something completely fresh, like Greek inspired, or if you know, Mediterranean, or if I go for something a little bit different. I did a Moroccan lamb the other night with some rice that was really good. No, I didn't do it with rice, I did it with orzo, and that was really nice. Or whether I just do chilled, do bits and pieces. I'm really not sure yet, but I'm really looking forward to getting onto Pinterest, which is one of my favourite things to do at the moment, and finding some inspiration there. So that's what you can expect from this channel over the next wee while. I hope that you've enjoyed this vlog. Well done you if you stuck it through to the end. I've got no idea how long it's going to be, but I've been talking for 18.5 minutes on this section, on the wrap it up section. Do think of editing Gemma, because I certainly haven't, and all the stuff she's going to have to contend with before this comes out live to you. Are you going to be watching any Vlogmases this year? I would love to hear your recommendations for the ones I should check out. Not necessarily just crafting related. I like lots of different things. I'm always interested in new recommendations. And yeah, I will see you very, very soon, probably for Vlogmas. In the meantime, happy November.